Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me. And before we talk about my dog-only picks of the week, the contest between myself and the scoreboard don't lie, I'm just going to be very honest with you guys because, one, I pride myself in being honest on this channel and maybe a little bit too honest, opening up to you guys when it's not necessarily necessary. But here's where I find myself today on this journey of content creation and specifically as it relates to sports betting. I don't know if doubting myself is the right word, but I'm doubting myself within the context of what it takes to be a sports betting content creator. When I look across the landscape, I'm overwhelmed. I'm depressed is way too strong of a word. I'm just like exhausted is also not the right word. I'm just hopeless. Let me explain how I feel, and then you guys can come up with the adjective for it. I don't feel like I fit the mold of the sports betting content creator. When I look across Twitter, it's everybody touting plays. It's everybody selling a service. It's everybody trying to be the best and say they win the most money. And I am so competitive, but I am not competitive in that way. There is an element of fun that has left the sports betting content creation world. And I'm going to make a video about that. So, time out. I'm going to rant about that in its own video. Let's talk about picks. Stay tuned for that video, my rant about the sports betting content world. All right, if you're here, you know what the deal is. We're gonna pick underdogs, and whoever has the most units won wins. Here's the update. We are positive: 9 wins, 11 losses, up 1.69 units. The scoreboard don't lie, is doing better. Plays much more conservatively, much more dialed in, if you will. 3 wins, 2 losses, up 2.25 units. Last week we went 1-1, up 0.26 total units. We lost the Panthers bet badly, but we won the Cowboys bet. So we are combined 16-9 against the spread, and that's good. We'll take that every day of the week. As always, these are for entertainment. I try to find value, but this is going to be hard to beat long term. But so far, over 7 weeks, we are beating it. So that is excellent. Combine these picks with promos. If the money line is too risky, take the spread. I try to handicap the situation, but also trust the math or the value I find in some of these lines. Here's my short list in terms of picks I like, not necessarily official plays, but picks that caught my eye. The problem with all of this is Georgia Southern, San Jose State, and Wyoming have all ticked down to about a pick 'em. So they're all about -105, -110. So I didn't feel comfortable playing those in an underdog contest. Now, if you want to get funky, if you want to get frisky, and you want to do San Jose State spread, Georgia Southern spread, Wyoming spread, and then tease those over the 6.5, because they're all about 1 or a half. If you want to do a 6-point teaser with those 3 legs, there might be an option there. I don't love parlays, but I think a teaser in those instances is an acceptable play. So we'll do that. My official pick for college football is Rice at home against the University of Texas San Antonio. The deal is Rice hasn't looked fantastic. They lost to Sam Houston week 1, but I think that was more about Sam Houston being better than was expected. The bottom line is the model that I am working on is nowhere near perfect, but the model that I have been building this year says this should be closer to -0.5 in favor of UTSA. So it's saying that UTSA should be the favorite by a 0.5 point. What does that mean? It means we have inherent value at Rice at +160 if the model is accurate and thinks that UTSA wins 50% of the time. Well, if we simulate that 1,000 times and every time we have Rice at +160, we will make money. All right, because the implied probability is better for the win versus the odds we're getting. All right, so we'll take Rice as an official play on the money line. Now, this is very similar. I mean, almost eerily similar in terms of what the spread is, in terms of what the money line is, in terms of home team versus away team, in terms of what the model says. And the model says pick 'em here as well. I have been very disappointed with Penn State this year. Now, have I been overly impressed with USC? No. They have not looked great at times. In fact, they've looked bad at times. They have been a second half team, a team that goes down early and then somehow battles back and fights back and finds a way to keep it close or win the game. I think they understand the magnitude of this game, and I think while Penn State does as well, if USC can put up points and can make this into a track meet, I think that is advantage USC, and I think that is the game plan. If they're playing slow, if they're letting Penn State run the ball, control the clock, and then they're panicked on offense, this isn't going to win, all right? But I like this more often than not, so give me USC plus 150 on the money line. My short list for the NFL is very simple. Jags over Bears, Cowboys over Lions, and guess what? We're taking both of them as official plays. Jacksonville, you could have gotten better earlier in the week, so that's a little bit disappointing. On my official picks video that I released on Wednesday, I had Jags plus 2.5, and now I believe it's 1.5 and even a pick 'em somewhere. So there was value, better value. Earlier in the week, it steamed towards the Jags, and that's okay. I still like them at plus 105. I would take them all the way down to minus 110 because I think that they win this game more often than they do not. So give me the Jags plus money on DraftKings and MGM. FanDuel's actually ticked down into some juice there, minus 102. So try to avoid it on FanDuel if you can. As for the game on the 4 o'clock slate, I like the Cowboys again to come back home and to win a NFC matchup, a game against the Lions, who have looked like they can be contenders in the NFC. Dallas has not necessarily, but I think this is a good spot for them to rebound against a conference opponent. Last week we saw them play Pittsburgh, and they looked fine. They looked okay. They won literally the last minute of the game. I think the Lions' defense is lesser than Pittsburgh's defense, and I think the Cowboys should be able to find some success on both the ground and in the air through this game. So I think 148 is good. I would take it maybe down to even 120. I don't think it's going to go that low, but that's kind of where the range of value is for me. All right, so that's the official plays, 4 of them this week: Cowboys, Jags, Rice, and USC, all on the money line, all around that plus 150, plus 105 range. So thank you guys for continuing to come by. I'm getting a call from an unknown number. I'm just going to put that on don't bother me mode, and I'm going to record this video about where I am, my headspace with everything. So if you care about that rant, stay tuned. Otherwise, we'll see you next week, unless I drop a surprise video this weekend.